Keep moving forward, everyone. It's Deep Dive Zone, a Sonic review series for fans of all shapes and sizes. I'm your host, Devin, joined as always by my co-hosts, Lauren and Bruce. And today, we've got 3 more Sonic X episodes. We are just barely coming down to the end of the first third of the show, and I'm becoming more and more paranoid that getting past that is not going to help.
Well, there's only one way to find out. We'll have to see.
I suppose so. We're starting off here with episode 22, Summer Vacation, exclamation point, Chao Observation Diary, or Little Chao Lost in the dub. Chris and the gang take a camping trip up in the mountains, but Cheese goes missing. Also, Eggman is here looking for a Chaos Emerald that's not real.
Is that what Eggman was doing?
That's not what Eggman was doing until he thought there was a Chaos
Okay,
Emerald.
I thought so. That confused me.
Yeah,
I was like, did the dub change that too?
I don't know what the heck is playing. He's just around, and they
to be fair,
him,
Deco and Bocoe both make comments about them being on vacation.
I guess, but Eggman spends this episode totally miserable, so...
All 3 of them do.
Yeah.
Again, maybe it's different in the dub, but in the dub at least, Eggman explicitly says that they're on vacation, and that the theme of this vacation is to tough it out, apparently.
What a wonderful theme. That's
Eggman doesn't really seem like a roughing it camping kind of guy.
No, he really doesn't.
I wouldn't believe it, except with his fabulous getup in this episode.
Oh, he was totally
love
ready.
The outfit.
Yeah, he is like safari mode, right?
So he's going the full way. By gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently.
But yeah. So what's going on here? We have I don't understand the setup here because we're here with Mr. Stewart, which says to me school trip, right? But it's just Chris and his 2 friends, and then Tails, Cream, and Amy. So
no, so I think Tails even questions why Mr. Stewart's there.
He does this. He just shows up with no explanation.
Yeah, he shows up and says, "I'm going to come with you guys," and no one questions it.
Okay, but does that imply that they were just going on a camping trip all on their lonesome? Because like Tanaka is in this episode.
Yeah, Tanaka. I'm assuming they were going to be meeting Tanaka there.
Yeah,
I guess. It's weird because you think that he would just come with them.
I think he was already there.
I think they're on vacation, and they decided to go camping at this place.
Are the kids on vacation?
I thought that there was like a family vacation, and they just weren't all in the same place all at the same time, and Tanaka had just gone ahead.
So you think like
point.
Chuck is around here somewhere, or like Chris's parents?
Well, a family vacation doesn't necessitate the entire family, necessarily.
or any of them.
Well, this episode did originally air in August of 2003, which is summer vacation time in Japan.
Recall that Chris's parents are notorious for being busy. I could totally see them plan a vacation and then just ditch at the last minute.
Just having them.
That's
fair. They'd have to cancel at the last second.
Well, now I wish they had a line about that because it would be fucking funny. But
Jesus.
Yes. So we're up here in the mountains, and apparently this is around Mr. Tanaka's own hometown. Which means we've got very Japanesey nature and architecture.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure this is just straight up Japan. Like they never outright say it, but with comments later on in the episode, I've been to Japan in the summer. It's Japan.
Well, yeah, I mean
that's what I assumed.
They've got the buildings. They've got not.
They've got the buildings. So. They also have humid and hot summers.
Yeah. Maybe that's why Eggman's getting harassed by all the bugs, because I know that's oppressive in Japan.
Oh yeah. I was in Japan for 2 weeks in the summer. It was fun and also not fun.
Yeah. Anyway, speaking of Tanaka, he just wears that suit everywhere.
Apparently. I'm almost convinced he was born in it.
He is a professional.
Very.
Yeah, I suppose so. Again, like maybe this is just me. I fucking hate camping.
Some people like it. Some people don't.
I haven't been camping in a long time, but the last time I went camping, I've always had fun camping.
Okay, it seems like, I made the comment about Eggman being unhappy here. The kids are more conciliatory, but they still seem bored while they're just waiting around, not really having anything to do.
Well, yeah, to be fair, exactly. They're not doing anything. Part of camping is figuring out shit to do.
Yeah, I mean, like Amy specifically is like, oh God, we've been traveling so long, but now we're just here. I'm so tired. And then there's this weird bit where the girl Frances starts scratching her behind the ears like a puppy.
I must have missed that.
It's really weird. Um,
I can imagine.
Shout outs to Mr. Stewart, who is actively it's like he's really trying to be the biggest loser ever. He can't even chop an onion.
He seems to just kind of be like that.
I don't even know if it's an intentional running gag, but the fact that like he does spy work, but then everything else he tries he sucks at is
Yeah.
a good bit.
He's not even particularly good at being a spy because
Not
usually you're
really.
supposed to be like undercover and cool about it. But the fact that no one questions him is just because everyone in this show is an idiot when they need to be for the plot,
Sure.
and not because he's actually skilled or anything.
Yeah.
I don't think he's particularly skilled at anything. He's just one of those people who's very mediocre but government work, and so he just sticks around anyway.
Oh, he's the picture child for failing upward.
Basically,
Exactly.
yeah.
Anyway, we have to get into the actual plot here, which is that there's a river that runs through here, and oh no, cheese is being washed down the river.
Oh no, the small child who shouldn't be in the river was in the river.
Look, if Cream had just given Cheese more otters, everything would have been fine.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Chao are just naturally buoyant.
Yeah,
That's
that's
right.
a good
No matter how
point.
hard you try, they'll always float, although sometimes they'll be pretty miserable while doing it.
Yeah. Hey, Lauren, I want to ask you something. Does the dub refer to cheese as a she, or am I misremembering that?
I honestly don't know. I did not pay any attention. I
Okay.
think they just called them Cheese usually.
Okay, the subtitles definitely say he, which is
Yeah.
a whole thing since Chao are a one-sex species anyway, but, yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, now we get to see Eggman, and,
Hell yeah.
they're having trouble beating the heat,
Yeah.
which is funny, because I was just saying before we started recording, it's really warm where I am right now. I have the window open, I hope it's not picking up too much background noise, but, Eggman is like, oh, Sonic is here, they must be tracking a Chaos Emerald.
You know, because Sonic can't just have a day off.
I mean, it's a coincidence that they run into each other. I'm trying to think, how often do
Yeah.
they run into each other by coincidence on this show?
It's happened at least one other time, I think. But, not very often.
Yeah.
It's really funny because usually Eggman is the one that's always up to something. This is like the
Right.
one episode where they're not.
They're just vibing. Well,
Yeah.
vibing as much as they can.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why it feels weird for Eggman. Eggman would be into the glamping lifestyle.
Yes.
He would
Yes.
be the staycation man who just sets up like
You set
know,
up
a
a
high-tech
tent in your
yurt.
backyard.
Yeah.
I've also done that. That is also fun.
I mean, he does bring 2 servant robots, which will like fan him.
That is pretty glampy, but he doesn't have like a really fancy tent or yurt.
Well,
he
I
would-
mean,
he would have
later
a
he
TV
does
screen.
have a big fancy means of locomotion.
That is true.
Oh yeah, he would be an RV driver.
Oh my god.
But no, instead they're just getting attacked by bugs.
Yeah.
Or rather, Eggman is. The robots aren't, obviously. Cheese's river flows into a cave, and it's like, oh, the cave is too big for an adult to go through, but all the kids can go in, and they just go in and leave Mr. Stewart behind.
It's
Um,
fine. We don't need to worry about Mr. Stewart.
Well,
I mean,
it's
that's
like,
objectively
well, that
true.
seems, this is not a charted cave as far as I know, so it's like, this seems a little dangerous. You don't want to just go in a cave, especially one that's filled with water. He's like, no, just go ahead. I've got a tracker on Chris. I'll be able to find his body.
That's right.
To be fair, the government doesn't care about Chris. They only care about Sonic.
Yeah, but on the other side of the cave is, oh my gosh, it's a Chow Garden.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Wait a second.
We did
A
skip some stuff.
Chow garden on Earth?
Yeah.
Why is there a Chow garden on Earth? Oh my, what? The lore. I don't understand the lore of this show. They're going to explain it eventually, or they're not, and I'm going to keep being confused.
Tails says something along the lines of, so they're living in this world too. And I'm really wondering if that means they came with them in the Chaos Control event, or they've just always been here.
I kind of interpret it as they've always been here.
I believe Chris responds in a manner that suggests, like like, yeah, of course there are Chao here. Like he doesn't act like it's strange.
Oh, that's interesting. He doesn't do that in the dub or in the Japanese version.
Well, it's more credence to the Earth and Sonic world were once the same world theory.
Yeah.
But it also makes the fact that that's a difference weirder, because, like, no human found a Chao up to this point? Okay.
Well, so, I mean, Tanaka says something later in the episode that makes that not true.
Oh, did he know about it?
Yeah, he says at the end of the episode, Chris apparently asked him about it and was surprised that Tanaka never said anything. He's like, "Yeah, of course. I grew up here. This is basically my backyard."
Okay,
Okay.
maybe I was misremembering, and it was Tanaka. I knew somebody
Which does
clarified
bring up
how
a
we're
different
there.
question of why he didn't comment that he recognized what cheese was, but whatever.
We're
I
not going
mean,
to dwell
if
on it.
people come from another dimension and they have dogs, you're not gonna be like, "Oh, look, it's a dog."
I mean, I might.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're not going
Yeah.
to dwell on it. It had me asking, what's even the difference between Earth and Sonic World? And the answer, of course, is Dr. Eggman. He has E66 here, which is this big tank mech thing, which is impressive because this thing does not look very much smaller than the Egg Fort 2. I don't know how the hell he fit it inside there. I wanna continue to chew out Mr. Stewart. He just runs the fuck back to camp before seeing if the kids got out of the tunnel okay.
That is a very good point.
You just leave him there. Like let alone
Yeah.
the "don't worry, I can find your body" thing. I don't even care. Maybe they'll die and then my job will be done.
Jesus.
He's assigned to spy on Chris, not to protect him.
It's true.
Amy's cluelessness continues when they're talking with Tanaka and they're like, "Hey, wait a minute, you were a kid once, weren't you?" And then Tanaka's like, "Yeah, obviously." Like, why does she not know that?
Actually, yeah, no, she should definitely know that.
It's very, very weird. So yeah, Eggman tries to attack with his big robot, but he just falls over because the ground is too soft, right? Isn't it something like that?
Yeah, it's a really weird moment
Probably.
because it seems to entirely tip over, which I I mean, was he like on the edge of an incline or something? It's very strange, but yes, it's because the ground is too soft,
Okay, yeah.
allegedly.
I mean, they are in the mountains, so I guess it's like
Sure.
he just causes a mudslide and that pulls it over.
I guess.
But it dumps a bunch of mud in the spring water where the Chao are. And oh right, Sonic's in this episode.
Yeah, we've had an ongoing Sonic subplot that has like had no relevance on anything.
He's just been
Oh
kind of fucking
yeah.
around in the city.
I
Yeah.
completely forgot to mention that apparently Sonic is world famous, which I am a little surprised by.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that much.
I mean, I guess high profile like military attack in the not United States and Sonic is featured on TV. Yeah, I guess that kind of
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on, how much this not Japan is actually separate from not America.
Yeah.
Maybe this is not even that far from the city where they live. I don't know.
I guess.
Possible. Either way, I'm glad to have Sonic here facing off against Eggman. It's not in a sort of a classical standard sort of way, but I do like the interaction here. Because Sonic is like, "Hey, Eggman, what are you doing?" And Eggman is like, "Oh, I'm just on vacation, relaxing." And he's like, "Uh-huh, relaxing. Right." And you can totally tell that both of them know that the other one knows that Eggman is definitely not on vacation anymore. But and then eventually he was like, "Well, anyway," and then just attacks Sonic. And then Sonic's like, "Okay," and then just destroys the robot instantly. It's great.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame because if it weren't for it's a little chunky, but I would actually have liked to see like a real fight between Sonic and this thing.
Sure.
Eggman has been kind of a punchline to a lot of things recently.
Yeah,
Um,
he keeps getting defeated super easily.
it really is just like they're treading water until they can get to a certain point in the show.
Yeah, kind of.
I don't know why. I mean, did they have a mandate that you must do this not many episodes?
That's
I
you know
mean,
that's something I was wondering.
so I think the way that I recall is that they had 52 episodes that they were supposed to make, and I guess they
Sure.
must have decided that halfway through that is when they were going to start the Sonic Adventure crap. And they were like, oh, we can fill in the rest. We have enough interesting story ideas to do that. And, on the face of it, when you say that, it's like, a Chao episode makes sense. A Ghost episode
Sure.
makes sense. You can do, the attack on Eggman and, we go here and here story. But the fact that they managed to repeat themselves with, like, two different Resort Island episodes, and
Hmm.
maybe the boat one you can even count as a third one if you really have to, is like, I think they were stretched a little bit thinner than they maybe intended.
It kind of seems that way.
And then once they got to the end of those, the space arc was greenlit after that, which is why it didn't air on Japanese television until 2020.
Right.
In this stretched thin episode, though, yeah, Eggman's robot falls apart and it knocks a bunch of mud into the water, which you think that, like, oh, we're gonna have a big effort into cleaning up the pond.
Yeah,
Not really.
not really.
Instead,
Ju- just-
Chris and friends are like, oh, well, we gotta do something, and they try to do stuff, and they can't do anything, and then Sonic just runs a bunch of circles around it, which flings the mud out.
Yep, Sonic basically just does it. Which, to be fair, it's not the first time.
This is one of them Dragon Ball GT moments. You just need the main hero to be on screen long enough and the problem will solve itself. Yeah, there's that line where Tanaka is like, yeah, I know what Chao are, I always have.
Yeah, which, sure you did, bud.
That's the episode.
It was
Yep.
certainly an episode.
Well, let's keep moving. This is episode 23, Mayhem, the Sixth Chaos Emerald, or Emerald Anniversary. Sonic, Gun, and Eggman are all en route to Filmdom City Movie Studios as they discover Nelson Thorndyke has unknowingly commissioned a Chaos Emerald ring as an anniversary gift for his wife.
So I didn't realize it until rewatching the episode, but this is actually the first episode in the string of random episodes that I have already seen before.
Oh.
I remembered it because of a particular scene that I'll mention later. At the start here, though, disconnected from the entire rest of the plot, there's just a scene where Gunn is making a robot based off of Eggman's technology, which is interesting. This show doesn't usually do, like, little teases like that.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised it took this long for them to show something like that.
Yeah, and it annoys me to no end because these new tank robot things, they're called beetles. And you'd think that that would conflict with the gun beetles that already exist. Because those are the flying ones in SA2, and they're also in this show later.
Are they
It's
still
fine.
called gun beetles?
I don't know if they ever get named, but it just bothers me that little redundancy exists.
That is weird.
That is interesting.
Yeah. But the actual start to this episode is actually with Rouge and Topaz hanging out off duty. Topaz, where the fuck have you been? You've been gone for like a bunch of episodes.
I mean, she's not a prominent character.
Yeah, this is what happens when you're not a very important character.
I guess. But they're just hanging out, getting coffee, I guess. So,
I'm gonna be honest. I thought they were like on a stakeout.
I don't think so. I think that they're just like hanging around and then decide to follow people when they see things going on.
Because I don't know, Topaz does not seem like she'd want to actually spend time with Rouge more than outside of work.
I'm with Bruce on this. I think that they're undercover and they're just seeming casual.
Yeah, I think that feels like it makes more sense.
I guess I think off duty just because Rouge is busy, completely not focused on any of it. She's just like, I see a jewelry store over there. Maybe I can steal something from it.
That's Rouge all the time.
Yeah, that's just Rouge.
Well, I know it's. I think sometimes she can focus on her job. She doesn't have ADHD, as far as I know.
Well, I mean, yeah, but she's
No,
not
but she's
interested
also-
in the job. She's interested in gems. If the job is get gem, then she's interested in the job. But
Yeah.
otherwise,
Yeah, I suppose. The gem in question being a Chaos Emerald, which this jewelry store just has.
Where the
It's-
fuck did
yeah.
they get this from?
It's the Sonic Battle thing again, where it's like, oh, we just found this jewel, guess we'll sell it.
Well, I mean, that's canon to the show. The emeralds are just, they show up in random places.
I mean,
so.
yeah.
Well, I know. I guess I've never asked a jewelry store what they would do if they just found a priceless diamond on the ground.
Look, for all we
Priceless
know,
diamond
somebody
with fucking
found
magic
the
powers.
priceless gem
And
and then
then
sold it. Yes.
Yeah, that's more than
That's-
likely what actually happened.
That's
but it's
probably.
funnier
I like the
question.
idea of them just like finding it in a dumpster better though.
No, yeah, it's funnier just to be like, oh yeah, where did this shit come from? Just find it in the fucking ground.
Yeah, but this gets Topaz on Rouge's side because Gunn actually has an interest in the Chaos Emeralds.
Sure.
But we can't do that because Chris's dad, Nelson Thorndike, is here and he's buying it because he wants a ring made for Lindsay.
Jesus fucking Christ, it's a big ring.
Yeah, I mean, do you want your finger to snap off?
And based off of what he was saying, it's a fairly small-sized ring.
Well, I'll say this. The shot of her with that on her finger, and every time a human picks up the emerald, it is really weird because we were talking about how the emeralds look way smaller in Eggman's hands than in Sonic and Friends, and
Yeah.
we reason that, well, Eggman is a frigging monster of a man, but it's true for every
Right.
human that the emeralds are smaller when the humans are holding them than, like, when Tails is.
Yeah, I mean...
I don't think there was a consistent size reference for the emerald.
Yeah, we've definitely lost a sense of scale.
I suppose. He gets that, he calls home. I like this bit where Tanaka bows to Nelson even as he's answering the phone.
Yeah, just force of habit.
Yeah, but everybody is invited to Filmdom City, a really awkward to pronounce movie studio where Lindsay is.
God, I hate that name.
Before they go there, we see that apparently Tails is using 3 Chaos Emeralds in X Tornado, which seems a bit excessive to me.
Uh-huh. Yeah, after we went through we talked so much about how using them is potentially dangerous.
Well, and that's going to be a major important plot point in this episode, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Tails does say it takes time for emeralds to adapt to one another, and they have magnetic reactions pushing each other away if you get them in one place.
What the fuck does that?
That's not
what
how
the fuck
they've
does all that
reacted
mean?
before now or
No.
ever since.
Yeah, we've had them in the same room previously.
Yeah, last time it shot a beacon into the sky. What are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so they have 3 emeralds, Knuckles has 1, and I think Sonic has 1 as well.
Yeah, Sonic's holding on to the dark blue emerald for some reason.
Yeah, right. Okay,
Blue
I
is
remember
his
because...
emerald.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's his emerald.
Knuckles gets the red emerald.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
Everyone has their own colored emeralds.
Tails uses the yellow emerald, so
And makes
Yeah.
his own yellow emeralds too.
yeah.
Oh yeah, this is the really weird bit. This is the one where they show that Sonic keeps the emerald stored inside his back.
Yeah, I mean, okay. At least the quills makes a bit more sense.
Well, okay, so we made the joke about how in 06 and Unleashed Sonic pulls the emeralds out of his ass. This is this is ever so slightly different, but it's really close to the same concept. Just give him a
It
backpack or something.
Just go back to having him, or just have him keep it in his quills. Like, they're big enough, he could probably keep shit in them.
Well, I mean, or
I
just
thought this
do,
was
the
the case.
Amy Hammerspace thing, where you just keep it in a nondescript location that only reveals itself. You don't see anything in there, you just see it once it's out there.
Right.
But, yeah, we're heading to Filmdom Studios, and hi, Mr. Stewart, you're here again.
He shows up, they question it for a second, and then they're like, alright, it's fine.
They just don't care. It's getting weird.
It is.
You-
What the fuck?
You'd suspect he was some kind of stalker in real life, which I guess in the context of the show he is.
Yeah?
Just not on his terms.
Yeah.
But yes, this is the part where the emeralds react with insane electric magnetic radiation or something. It's like they're going to
Magic.
explode or something.
Magic.
Yeah, because this is when Nelson reveals his big plan, and we see the scene where the director is like, "All right, try to get it right this time. Ready, action." I'm like, that line, that voice, It sounds very familiar for some reason. And I'm like, and that was when I realized, oh yeah, I've seen this episode before because
Ah.
I saw it multiple times, and so the scene that you see multiple times got ingrained in my
Mm.
mind, and I didn't
Mm.
notice it until I saw it, and I'm like, oh okay, so I have actually seen this episode, even though I barely recognized it otherwise.
Fascinating.
I see.
Apparently, Nelson's going to surprise Lindsay on the set, which is a cute idea, except apparently he does this all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Huh.
he's gonna replace the lead actor in the film to give the Emerald Ring to Lindsay during the shoot. I'm just gonna fuck up your job for our anniversary.
Yeah. Hmm.
It's a little odd.
It sounds cute until you actually think about it.
Yeah, I don't
Well, it
know.
would
I
probably be
just
fine as a one-off thing, but
Sure, but apparently he does this more than one, more often.
exactly. Yeah, that's puzzling. Also puzzling, as you mentioned. Oh yeah, that there's like electricity and stuff when the emeralds are out, but no one really pays much attention to it. They're like surprised for a second, and then they close the box, and it's like, well, anyway, moving along.
yeah, it's really odd. And like Sonic and Knuckles have an Emerald reaction with theirs later on, and it's just not even that dwelled on. I guess this does alert Eggman
Yeah.
to it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That's
it
the entire
does.
purpose.
Actually, I
And
think
I
the
mean,
first
thank
one would have
goodness.
alerted Knuckles, and then the other one alerts Eggman, something like that. But nobody shouts down Nelson like either about that being a bad idea or about that's a Chaos Emerald. So we do indeed get everyone in position to pull off his plan, but the dumbass just
Right.
falls over.
Yep.
And apparently, we had this where they open the box and it starts reacting. So they're way further away now, but apparently the box is just amazing at insulation because it only is when it's open that it starts reacting, and I guess you
Yeah,
apparently you
okay,
just
good.
have to be within 50 fucking feet of the emeralds. Like how close
Good.
do
I'm
they have
glad
to
I'm
be?
not the only one who noticed that's
So
Like
I have a theory about this.
okay.
So the jewelry store even when the emerald was in the jewelry store, it was like shining unnaturally, and nobody commented on it because everyone is an idiot in this show. But somebody at the jewelry shop was not an idiot, and when they obtained the emerald, they're like, "Huh, this is kind of fishy, but it is a really big gem, so maybe we can sell it off." I know. We'll just put it in a case that is like it like insulates the energy or whatever that it's giving off, and the
Maybe
box
it's
they
made
put
out
it
of
in does
lead
the
or
same
something.
thing. So
They
that's
don't-
why the box somehow blocks it, is because the jewelry shop noticed this about it. But and probably they even told Nelson he wasn't paying any attention, or they tried to tell him. He's like, I don't worry about it.
Yeah, he would be a. I mean, Nelson and Lindsay are such a "fuck you, I'm rich, I can do what I want" couple that I can see that.
Yeah.
Except,
This is the first time I started really feeling that.
yeah, except apparently for Lindsay's job because she gets pissed off that he fucked up the shoot. And
Only because he
honestly,
tripped and didn't do it
I
in
do-
a smooth manner. It
Well,
would
yeah.
be
So
fine
I have to.
otherwise.
Yeah, let's say I have to wonder if he'd been successful, would she still have gotten pissed?
it does make me wonder because like I'm very sympathetic. You work on a movie set, that's tiring shit. Those are long hours a
Oh,
lot of the
yeah.
time. I bet the film
yeah.
crew are like probably fucking hate Nelson because he's pulling this shit.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And yeah,
I-
they start arguing.
Yeah, amongst all that, Knuckles shows up, and he's like, "Hey, wait a minute! Isn't that the Chaos Emerald? We should get it." And Sonic's like, "No, we can't because it would ruin their anniversary." And Knuckles is like, "No, let's just tell them we need it. And ask
Yeah,
nicely."
which-
What the
like,
hell are you talking about?
yeah.
Why would Sonic care about this?
Yeah, it's weird that Knuckles is starting to be the voice of reason when.
I very much appreciate it.
Oh, I totally appreciate it because very, very, very infrequently is he the voice of reason.
I mean, Sonic and Knuckles should kind of be on the same side here, in my opinion.
They
I don't
should,
think that
yes.
Sonic giving a shit about Chris is one thing. Caring about his parents' anniversary, absolutely not. Also, they're already yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
But finally, the action gets to start with Eggman crashing his ship into the studio.
Holy shit!
He just doesn't
Yep.
give a fuck.
Of course he
course.
doesn't.
And we get some antics. They chase him through different movie sets. So we get fake Jurassic Park and fake Star Wars and fake Titanic.
I like this gag where shoot, I don't know who's Deco and who's Bocoe. I didn't check this time, but whoever's chasing Tails, trips and falls off, and then Tails like, oh wait, I better go grab him. Wait a second, why am I doing this? And then drops him.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest. I interpreted that as Tails is like, wait, I want to be the one to drop you into the water.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah, well, we can't complete our Titanic reference without fucking up the King of the World bit. Also, hey, Archie's not the only one who can make pop culture references.
Oh, well, yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely not. I mean, we've seen a lot of things in this show already.
No, and I'm not. And I'm being facetious because it's different when Archie does it versus like stuff like, because this is a perfectly normal place to do something like that, and even in like Sonic Adventure 1, I'm pretty sure the Chao in Space poster is a reference to Muppets in Space, right?
Yes. Yeah, I believe so.
Which, you know what, you can make as many Muppets references as you want. You can never get me to hate Kermit.
In this episode, the government corruption continues as Rouge and Topaz are apparently just allowed to steal Chaos Emeralds from private citizens.
Well, I assume because, the government wants a Chaos Emerald.
Well, yeah, but
they're the only party that hasn't gotten their hands on one yet.
Surely the government could just like show up and be like, that's a security issue, but instead they're like, oh, well, because it's actually a dangerous thing. Like that should be pretty clear. But instead, no, let's just send agents to go swoop in and steal it. It's just a very weird way of doing
plausible deniability.
I'm gonna be honest. I think that almost any government in the real world would operate the same way if Chaos Emeralds were real. Not to say that it's not corruption in any way, but like, I don't even see much of a contradiction with it.
It's plausible. It gives them plausible deniability.
I mean, I guess it was an unknown thing.
Exactly.
But I am imagining them just like running up and grabbing it from Nelson, and like they swipe a piece of paper from him saying, "We have a warrant," and then they just run off.
This is legal.
Yeah. Which, funny enough, Rouge grabs the emerald, then Eggman grabs it from Rouge, and then Topaz freaking jumps on the Eggmobile with him and Rouge, and what's the return of that Chris moment, except Topaz is apparently less competent than Chris, because she gets flung off the same way but doesn't have the emerald.
Yep.
Or perhaps Eggman learned from his mistakes. But it's okay, though, because we got Big Robot. This is E74, a kind of dragon-ish thing?
Dragon adjacent.
Yeah, and it's going to torch the studio.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll show it to those Hollywood big shots. But it's okay, because we have the true hero of the show with their big dramatic intro for some reason. Mr. Tanaka is here and instantly gets swatted away like a fly. What is even the point? Why did you bother?
He should have been the one.
I do like the deadpan Sonic. Well, he's a nice guy.
Jesus, Sonic.
But Sonic and Knuckles, of course, are the ones actually fighting the robot, but Eggman manages to escape. Knuckles gets tricked by a tank of water with a fish backdrop.
Not so fast. It's actually not that bad. I actually appreciate this moment because, yeah, at first, Knuckles is like, what? They're underwater? But then he looks closer, and he's like, oh, wait a minute, I see what's going on.
Yeah, he figures it out.
And then he uses it on purpose to assist Sonic. So, yeah, I mean, at a glance, you might get fooled. He's never seen an effect like that, but he's able to figure it out, so it's honestly a Knuckles win.
Okay, you know what? Good point.
Obviously,
good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, because the water stops the robot from breathing fire, so... Right. Yeah. Which is a shame. He torched Godzilla, the bastard. But,
yeah, that son of a bitch.
They should do a Muppet Godzilla movie. Sorry, that has nothing to do with it. But yes, so Sonic and Knuckles, they beat the robot, but Eggman has gotten away with the emerald.
So Eggman now has one emerald again, so... Of course.
And, well, it's weird, because, like, after this, we're all kind of done here. The Thorndike family reconciles, which I feel doesn't really make any sense, because they weren't really part of the action, and, like, why did you stop being mad at each other? Who cares?
I don't know, they
Well, it's like if you'd had a shot where like Nelson dives like and pushes Lindsay out of the way of something and like
Sure.
saves her, that would be something.
Yeah.
I don't know. We get Tanaka considering seppuku for having failed.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, I thought that was what was going on.
Yeah.
But obviously that's not the way the dub does it.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't think they
Understandable
deserve the
on 4Kids' part for that one, I would say.
Yeah, a little over the top.
Yeah. Everybody does a big Evangelion congratulations moment for the anniversary, and we're kind of done here. We got 6 out of 7 emeralds in somebody's possession, but boy, are they taking their time getting there.
At least we're getting
Yeah.
there, though.
Yeah. And I'm sure that in this next episode we'll have all 7, right?
Really?
Yes, that is the pattern. Every episode you've collected an emerald, without wasting and meandering any at all.
Obviously, yeah.
That's how it'll work. 100%.
I mean, this surely
Yeah.
won't just be another one of the meme episodes.
No, never.
Episode 24, Wild Sonic! Exclamation point, Strategic Capture Operation, or How to Catch a Hedgehog. During a routine battle with Eggman, Sonic destroys a robot and winds up with one of its computer chips lodged in his ear. The next day, he mysteriously finds himself unable to stop running. So this was one of my favorite episodes as a kid, and I'm gonna be honest, I still think it's funny a lot of the time, but this is
Yeah.
completely ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
We start with this battle against Robot Chicken, but not like the show Robot Chicken, just a Robot Chicken.
It doesn't have an E series number in the original.
Not that I know of. It probably has
Um,
one, but
They might have said something in the commercial bumper, but I don't pay attention to those.
I don't know if this thing has one. I have the gallery in front of me, so maybe I'll see it. No, the gallery does not have the commercial eye catchers in here. Whatever, it doesn't matter. They fight this thing for all of 10 seconds. They begin
Yeah.
in mid battle. Tails the MVP hands the ring out, and Sonic destroys it. I don't even know what Eggman's plan is here. It just seems like he's attacking some random farmhouse. I
Sonic
want
was
the
just
delicious
running
milk
around.
and eggs.
The Eggman was trying to get some eggs. Okay, never mind. That's a better explanation.
It's an Adventures of Sonic scheme.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. Gosh. I missed Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Someone has to.
That's kind of sad, honestly.
There were more interesting
Jesus.
things to talk about.
Jesus Christ. Fair enough, actually.
Ouch. Well, anyway, a computer chip from the robot lands in Sonic's ear, as we've said. Well, he tries to get it out, but I think he just pushes it deeper in there.
Yeah, I mean, why not have a doctor?
Yeah, you don't. If there's something in your ear, do not try to get it out with your finger.
Yeah, go
It's
to a
not
doctor.
going to work very well.
Yeah.
But Amy is just annoyed that Sonic is ignoring them and doesn't really pay any attention to the fact that obviously there's just something in his ear. It's a little weird, but it's quite par for the course. I like the bit, though, where...
She tries to give him some big love speech, but he's distracted, and she's like, gets huffy and runs off, and the Sonic's like, "What's wrong?" That's what Kanemaru says. He doesn't say wrong, he says wrong.
That is true, he does.
Yeah, the next day, we're all just hanging out in the house. There's still something that's like bothering him. And then for some reason, I will never understand why this is. I guess because of wireless signals of some sort. But Mr. Tanaka presses a button on the garage door opener, and that activates the chip in Sonic's ear?
That's
Yes.
actually not that impossible.
No, not particularly.
Signals interfere with devices unrelated to them regularly, so it's,
Yeah.
although unlikely, not at all impossible that a completely unrelated remote could activate a device.
Sure.
I guess cell phone on an airplane, something, but it is weird that would happen to an Eggman machine, because all you need is a signal jammer to stop him, apparently.
The cell phone on an airplane thing is also actually bullshit.
I genuinely don't know. But, this does... Oh, sorry.
Either way, the
Anyway,
truly confusing thing about this is the fact that a microchip in Sonic's ear forces him to run.
Yeah,
There's
why is it doing
absolutely
that?
no explanation on this ever, and throughout the episode, it's built up like some sort of mystery too, even though they never bothered to explain.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, Sonic. Well, for one thing, he makes one of the most famous facial expressions in the series. His entire head distorts to make this disturbing face. But yeah, Sonic's not a fucking robot.
No, so...
My best guess would be that the electricity from the chip and the electricity in his brain intermix somehow.
But the chip would have to be making contact with his brain, right?
Okay, put a pin in that for now. I will say though that if we were back in Archie Sonic, a later comic would explain that this Sonic was actually a robot double and nobody realized it retroactively.
Oh god, auto-automatons. Well, I mean, nowadays this wouldn't be a full episode. This would be an off panel in an IDW strip, and they would probably make a joke about like Neuralink or something, and then Sonic's head would explode. But yes, this is the actual core of the episode, namely that Sonic cannot stop running. It makes him run infinitely.
You know, sure.
Amy gets really annoyed that Sonic just runs off, and there's a great line when Amy says, Sonic thinks he's stressed, try being me. And Chris responds with, that would be horrible.
That's good. Another 4Kids W.
Yep.
But it's okay. It's okay. We get pursuit from the ever-helpful Sam Speed, who arrested a dude, but sees Sonic go by and just lets the guy go and says, I arrest people quickly, but I also free them quickly.
Let them go quickly. Yeah.
And then his dumbass just runs out of gas. And then he gives us another one with, I get involved quickly, but I also give up quickly.
Jesus Christ.
And Sonic, I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand why Sonic won't stop running in this episode, but I also don't understand his thought process, because he's like, I have to get out of town, that would be safer, because he's like rampaging.
I thought it was like a bomb or something.
That would have made sense.
And like, you can't stop running or it'll explode.
No,
I figured that out pretty fast that it wasn't.
Oh, sorry, you just mean at first. Yeah.
No. At first, that's what I thought was going on. Then obviously, no, that's not what's actually going on.
Well, and this is definitely the weirdest thing about this episode, is that Sonic can clearly decide where he wants to go. He just can't literally stop moving his legs. Why can't he just run in circles?
That was one of my questions later on.
They do manage to deduce that something about Sonic's ear was doing this just because they noticed he was messing with it.
Yeah, I guess fair enough.
Finally, they noticed.
Yeah.
I do like that Eggman is spying on him this whole time and just gets tired because it's like, well, fuck it, I can't do anything. Why won't he stop? But the most famous sequence of this episode is the brainstorming session of ways to stop him. And I'm going to be honest, I find...
drawings.
What?
I love these drawings. They're adorable.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, yeah,
I love
these little...
Funny. They look like South Park Sonic almost, or something like that.
Kinda, yeah.
There's actually an official Sonic X Flash game called Sonic XS that uses this art style.
Interesting.
I don't remember anything about it other than you have to have Sonic throw rings at people, that's not right. Actually, though, I'm just remembering, that was a mechanic in the canceled SatAM Genesis game. That's a weird coincidence.
Wow, there was a canceled SatAM Genesis game?
Yeah, it looked like shit.
I'm sure it did, but...
And I think it was more of a proof of concept than an actual... It looked really slow, but anyway, none of that matters.
Anyway, yeah.
So the first thing they try with Sonic is shooting him with a sticky balloon?
Yeah, like bubblegum.
Yeah, and this is another thing that bothers me, is that the balloon sticks to Sonic and lifts him up, and I want to praise Kanemaru's performance for this. Somebody help me! But when he's up in the air, his legs stop moving.
Yeah. I think the animators didn't think about that, but yeah, logically that should not be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they hit him with this balloon. Didn't have any way of catching it, though. So he just floats away.
Yeah, they just let him float off. Like, what the fuck?
I think the idea, Chuck says he used too much helium, so I think he wasn't supposed to float very high.
I guess.
I guess, yeah.
They should have just, they should have Metal Gear Solid 5 Fultoned it. But it's okay. We have Knuckles here to save the day. Um, he throw. I like to think that he just wanted to throw a rock at Sonic, but it pops the balloon.
No, he's just using it as an excuse to throw a rock at Sonic.
Yeah, and okay, this is a nitpick. This is me being that dude from the Poochie episode of The Simpsons. But Sonic lands in the water, and then he runs really fast out of the water. But Sonic can't do that. It should just make him float upward like in Chris's swimming pool.
Magic.
We don't know how deep the water is.
Deep enough for him to grab a fish that he gives to Knuckles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if it has fish in it.
Fair enough.
Why do you have fingers?
There is something to be said of the fact that maybe when Sonic is in the water, they panic, and they kind of just flail around.
Yeah, probably.
Yes, yeah.
I really hope somebody got fired for that blunder. Anyway, so Knuckles actually joins the group after this, and he suggests, well, if you want to stop Sonic, I'll just punch him.
For some reason, Knuckles
a very
brings
Knuckles
the fish
solution
with him all the way over to the rest of everyone else.
Yeah.
Do they cook the fish? Does that happen?
I think so. They make, like, soup.
Yeah.
I guess that's practical.
Yeah. I do like Amy's response to that. She embodies Archie Roeder because she yells, "I'm against violence," while getting ready to smack him with the hammer.
Yeah, Pender's written Archie Roeder.
Yeah, I mean, nobody else really did that. But it's okay. We got more plans. They are, speaking of Archie and just, I guess, schemes in general, they never try the same one twice. We don't just shoot Sonic with another balloon that we can catch, even though that wouldn't be any different. But it's okay. We have a giant hamster wheel. Well, it's really weird because they're like, Knuckles, you have to roll it at him, which is like, that is one of the weird things, is that nobody tries to communicate with Sonic any of the things going on.
Oh, to be fair,
it's a little difficult.
Yeah, well, even after they get him into the wheel, they don't try to communicate with him.
I mean, they do try to give him food, which is funny.
Yeah.
And holy shit, that's a chili dog.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it is a chili dog.
They kind of just assume that he doesn't know, which he doesn't know.
No, but like, well, yeah,
but
I guess
there's no reason they shouldn't ask, logically. It's very weird, and okay, so I'm gonna come back to the whole what the heck, why is he running thing, because here they establish that Sonic can like fall asleep while he's running.
Yeah.
Now, okay, to be fair, I mean, sleepwalking is a thing.
Sure.
But this suggests that Sonic is tired, which logically, if he's tired, he should at least be slowing down. But he's not. He's still running full speed everywhere. It almost comes off. There's a line. Well, when the contraption gets broken, Chuck, I think, says something like, "Wow, he seems to have boundless energy." It comes off as if the microchip is somehow powering Sonic. Which, I mean, sure, maybe Eggman stored Chaos Emerald energy in a microchip. I don't know. It's very strange, though.
Yeah, it's like, if we're going with the brain electricity theory, I guess it's interfering with the nerves section of his legs in his brain, but not any other part of him. But yes, Sonic running really fast while asleep is very odd. And just to be clear, for those of you that say we're reading too deep into this, we know, it's just there's not a lot of other things to talk about.
The show, the characters are trying to like pick it apart like it's a mystery, and they easily could have had some sort of explanation at the end. It's very weird that they don't, in my opinion.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really surprised they didn't.
I don't know. I mean, wacky gag episodes are wacky gag episodes, but it does feel like there is a limit to how far you can push it.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah, this show crossed that line long ago.
Yeah, you're right. Well, here's some fan art I did of Sonic dying in a glue trap, because that's their final plan, is that they have a strip of glue, and they're going to have Sam bait Sonic to run in a certain direction. which is really weird. They have like these two doors. It's like they can't just say Sonic run here and have him run to the glue. They need to like trick him.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, why not? Unless it's like interfering with his actual brain functions, which it doesn't seem to be. There's no reason why they can't just yell at Sonic, go through this door, or go onto this sticky pad.
Yeah, and well, continuing to prove that Sam is a fucking loser, which seems to be a running theme with a lot of the adults of this show. They have the one door and the two door, and you're supposed to go in the two door, and Sonic goes in the one door in the trap, but Sam's like, no, I'm the fastest. I'm number one,
fucker. And then is a fucking idiot.
He knows full well that the trap is behind door number 1.
Yeah,
How stupid is he?
Sam's a fucking idiot.
How did this man get any kind of job with this kind of mindset?
So, this was my introduction to this character.
Devin, I have an answer. I have an answer to that question. Money.
Yeah.
And yeah, knowing that somehow he's a police officer. Really?
Money.
I mean, I'm not saying that a police officer couldn't be petty like this, but it's just a case of like, how do you function? Petty. Like, does he order the number 1 on every fast food menu?
It's not pettiness, it's stupidity, because if he's smart, he should know, like, if he's being petty, then he should be like trying to beat Sonic in the race, but just going through the door.
I guess he's losing on purpose because he wants to go in the one door.
Yeah, that makes no sense. That's not pettiness, that's just stupidity.
Yeah.
This is fucking Clancy Wiggum up in here. And yeah, Sam drives into the glue trap, and yes, this is the part. Sonic runs in circles to see what happened. Why didn't you do that before? You could talk to people that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just strange. And then they're like, oh, clearly the chicken bot is what made this happen.
Obviously.
And the nonsensical solution here is that we go back and we fight the chicken bot again.
I completely missed. I had to go back and check. I was like, wait a minute. Oh yeah, they weren't actually destroyed. So yeah, E88 is just chilling on the farm, just
acting
in a
like an actual
pattern.
Chicken.
Yeah, I guess, I could see Eggman designing their animal robots. When nothing is around to attack, they just act like animals.
Sure.
Well, we lead Sonic to the robot. He kicks it again, and for some reason, this makes the chip fly out of his ear.
Yeah, someone should have just given him like a really, really strong hit on the back to do that. I'm gonna be
They
honest.
should have let Knuckles punch him.
Honestly, yeah.
That probably would have worked.
Punch him on the back.
That would have been a good ending to the episode, too. Imagine they defeat the robot. Sonic still is running around. And Knuckles is like, just let me punch him. And then he does it, and then it saves the day. And
yeah, you treat it as a Chekhov's gun. You just have Knuckles keep bringing it up. Like, I'm telling you guys, this will work. But instead, apparently Sonic's ears just have, like, vacuums in them because they managed to suck some hay into him as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The giant ears seem, they're not great.
You need a hat or something.
Yeah, or earplugs.
But it's okay. This time, he lands on a bale of hay with Amy, and she romantically blows it out of his ear, which I cannot think of a less pleasant sensation to make intimate. Have you ever blown air in your ears? It's fucking unpleasant.
Yeah.
And, that...
That's the episode.
I don't have a problem with dumb fun, but I have a problem with this much dumb.
I don't know. At least if we're gonna do this, give us an actual fucking ending. This felt like a nothing ending.
It retroactively establishes that this was just another Son Amy episode because it started that way and it ended that way.
Yeah,
Kinda.
Good point.
Yeah. Yeah,
Damn.
so... I don't know. They should have moved things along to the last Chaos Emerald. I think the next episode better be about the last Chaos Emerald, let me tell you.
I swear to goddamn God.
But that is it for tonight. Which episode is the best of tonight?
Episode 2.
Yeah, probably episode 2.
Yep.
Probably.
Right. I'll take it. I'd 2 or 3. Like 3 has some good gags. 1 is just not. It's just boring for the most part.
Oh yeah, one never stood a chance.
Yeah.
Which is a shame since it's the Chao episode. You'd think that like you could do more with that.
They
You'd think
barely
so.
do anything with the Chao. It's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would be great is if, like, I don't know. See, the problem with this show is that it's just episodic and nothing matters a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Which is fine for some types of shows. The problem is this show tries to make itself more half the time, and half the time it doesn't. So, like, you could have done the Chow episode better if you don't have to change much of anything, except maybe, I mean, this would be kind of sad, but, like, maybe the Chow's home gets ruined or whatever. And they can't fix it because that's stupid. Sonic can't just run around and get rid of the mud. And so then everyone's like, "Oh no, the Chow don't have a home." Like, "Oh, I know. Maybe we'll give the Chows new homes, and then like everyone starts having Chow.
You start adopting them
now.
out, and then in different scenes across the show, even in episodic, you could see a
Chows in
person
the
walking around
background.
with like a little Chow.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
It would add to the world building. It would make it could exactly. You can do some an episodic episode that still has ramifications.
Sure.
I'm a big fan of like Terry Pratchett and Discworld, and those are episodic books. They're not super serialized, but it's like once you have dwarves in Ankh-Morpork, you see them around all the time in other books, and it's not a big deal, but yeah.
Oh, and that makes sense.
But that's not how the showrunners operate. And you know what? Probably some of these episodes were being made at the same time, so you wouldn't even be able to do that one after another anyway. But that's definitely not the case for all of them. But it's whatever. Next time on Deep Dive Zone, we are finally getting to the end of the first core of the show, which means that things could improve some amount, or not as much as they want. They will improve. I don't know if it'll be enough, but they will. So we're going to be okay. We're going to make it. We're not going to die. We're not going to have all of our fingers pulled off. We're not going to lose the thread of this sentence to the mines and the madness.
Devin, I think it's time to end the episode. You're rambling again, bud.
We're going to get all the Chaos Emeralds in one place. We're going to have a Super Sonic fight. We're going to have a big robot. And we're going to see the start of Sonic Adventure. So look forward to that. We're going to get to our second Sonic Adventure adaptation of this era. 2 out of 3.
If Super Sonic's showing up, better be a fight and not like a one punch.
Super Sonic's going to show up and then do nothing. Chris is going to beat the final boss.
Honestly, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that if it was done in, an actual.
We're gonna get Super Chris.
Oh well, it's not the way what I meant exactly.
Yeah.
With all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to my co-hosts for being here. I hope you all have a great rest of your night. I hope that if you like this video, you feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you have any questions, comments, criticism, or feedback, you reach us at any of the links in the link tree in the description. We will see you next week. I hope you have a great night, and take care.